Wow. Godzilla is back, baby. And so is RodimusPrimal on this channel. Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't done a video on this channel in quite a bit. I know that there are a lot of things that happened behind the scenes that kind of prevented me from making some more videos for this channel, but I do intend to get back to doing Godzilla videos and Thundercat. I will get to that Thundercats 2011 1985 comparison video. I'm still working on finalizing what I want to say with that one. And but God, I ended up seeing Godzilla Minus One last night, and I was like, you know what? It's time. It's time to come back and start making some videos again and talking about this, because let me tell you something. Hail to the king, baby. This was wow. I don't want to spoil this. There'll be a spoiler-free review. Just basically kind of give you like an overview of what I thought about the movie. And man, I gotta say, like, I can't say it was better than the original 1954 film. Like, it's like one of those things where it's like, you know that original movie has a special place and why it's significant and why it's important and what have you. That being said, Godzilla Minus One ranks up there, man. I know some people like really love Shin Godzilla, and I enjoyed Shin Godzilla for what it was. This movie, like, blows it out of the water. I have to say, like, this one, it's like, I wanted Godzilla, and boy did I get Godzilla, all right. But I also found it interesting that this movie did something different with the human characters that actually made me really, truly care about them. You know, in the original movie, you know, you kind of got a little bit of that. You started caring about the human characters, or at least they were trying to with some of the earlier Godzilla films. But most of the time we were fast forwarding through it because we wanted to get to the good parts. We wanted to see the monster action. And in this movie, you know, it's integral to like watch this film and see it. Like, that's the crazy thing. I can't just call it a Godzilla movie. This is a film. You know, I know like the Martin Scorsese, this is cinema thing, right? But no, I mean that because, wow, like man, like you actually really truly cared about the human characters, and the more and more the things were happening to them, you cared whether or not they were going to make it out, out of it alive. And you cared about their triumphs, you cared about their successes, you cared about their failures. You know, you cared whether or not they were going to survive an onslaught of Godzilla. And he is, this version of Godzilla is terrifying. They really truly made him a monster, like a monster that we have not seen. Because, you know, you've got the Monsterverse, right? And he's basically like superhero Godzilla, right? Where, yes, people are getting like, could be dying, but they're not really showing that. They're more so showing that, like, I don't know, like it was more so about like the monster action, just like the old Godzilla movies of the 70s and, you know, late 60s, where Godzilla was a superhero, or even the Heisei era where, you know, Godzilla was like a force of nature, but you really were looking to see those beam battles. And this time, man, like, this was something else. Like, when Godzilla actually first shows up on screen, first and foremost, the way they do the origin I found was interesting for him. And, you know, because it's what you would expect out of it, because this is like a retelling of the original 1954 film, but it's not. This is still like Godzilla's first appearance in Japan, post World War II, post the atomic bomb tests of the late 1940s. And so Godzilla arrives, and man, I want to spoil it. I want to just really get into it, but everything from his atomic, breath, which they call a heat ray in the film, which is not really a spoiler. From the, just the menace of him, like whether or not you see people actually are running and terrified and scared of this creature. And they really made Godzilla scary this time around. I don't think that, for me, like, you go back and watch the 1954 film and you can see how it would be terrifying to audiences of the time. But now we look at like the special effects are what they are. This time they took that to another level. I look at Shin Godzilla and you see like it's more like a political drama of anything else, and they're reacting to, using politics, or it's a commentary on politics in Japan and how they deal with a creature like Godzilla, like this type of version of Godzilla. Whereas this movie is about the will to survive, which goes hand in hand with Godzilla, the will to, get past your the things that are going on in your life, and whether or not you're willing to see past the drama of what happens to somebody in a war. Like these are people who lost a war, and now they're rebuilding their home, and now they're being attacked by something even far greater than that. And here now they have to overcome in their circumstances. And I also found it cool that, like, without getting into too much political drama, they never ever looked down upon other cultures, at least as far as the civilians did. They were more so about, like, we Japanese people will get, pick ourselves back up. We'll finally get past our war, and we'll stop this creature from destroying, Japan. And man, it is something else. From the atomic ray to the I want to just keep on going on and on about it, but like when Godzilla actually arrives in Japan, and the devastation that's caused, and the destruction, it's something else. Like I can't describe it any other way. It's amazing. Like this movie is definitely a movie you need to see in theaters. Now I will say some negative things, not about the movie itself. Well, there are a couple things. There are a couple of editing choices that I feel that, like, where it felt like a continuity flub. They were trying to move from one scene to another, and you almost feel like they should have, like, cut a little bit differently, and it would have made more sense continuity wise, or it would have worked better narratively. But that's just like little tidbits of things there. But as far as my movie going experience, first and foremost, you need to see this on the big screen. You can't not see this movie in the theater. Like, when you see it, you'll understand. It is in Japanese language with English subtitles. You definitely should see this in the theater. But as far as my movie going experience is concerned, when you see it in the theater, I saw it was called Screen X. Now, that is something really different that I've never ever seen a movie done this way before. But basically what you have is this big wide screen that goes all the way, wall to wall. Well, then the walls themselves, they actually project parts of the movie onto the walls. And sometimes it works out for really good effect. The problem is that I don't know if it's the projector or what have you, but it was a little bit on the blurrier side. So like things like some of the fish and the ship and what have you that were on the wide shots are present, but there was a moment where, someone's in a plane and Godzilla is walking and he's on the wall, and then all of a sudden he pans up on screen. Well, he's blurry on the wall and then shows up, perfectly fine on the screen. So to me, that kind of took me out of it a little bit, just because of the way that the Screen X thing works. But that was just like my movie going experience, because I never been to a movie that did it that way. And I thought that was kind of interesting to do it, but I would have preferred, maybe it would have been better if I saw it in IMAX, where the screens are really wall to wall and the theater is much wider. And then you really would have had the left and the right peripheral vision of seeing Godzilla that way. But I will say this much. Definitely see Godzilla Minus One in the theaters. You won't be disappointed in it. If you're a Godzilla fan, yeah, this is going to be right up your alley. They make Godzilla scary again. It is not something... it's another movie I definitely can say that, like, kids going to go see it might be a little bit much, because there is a lot of human drama. I will say again, this is the first time that I feel that I actually cared about the human characters. I cared about whether or not they were going to make it out of it alive. And to have a Godzilla movie do that is saying a lot, because every other previous Godzilla film, I was not as much caring about the human cast. This time around, I was. And so I think the way they did it this time, and I'm really excited to see if they actually make a sequel to this, because Yeah. Again, no spoiling it, but I definitely recommend seeing Godzilla Minus One in theaters. I want to know what you guys think about this. Of course, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to thumbs up this video and subscribe. Check out my other videos on this one, on this channel, and also be sure to check out my main channel, RodimusPrimal, as well. So stay tuned for more videos coming from both. So stay tuned for all that. And as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.